Hi, and welcome to another episode of Duct Tape and Happy Thoughts. Duct Tape and Happy Thoughts is a podcast where we deal with all sort of everyday topics, from relationships to the work environment to children to schooling, and the list goes on. My name is Cyster, and with me I have the incredible Dakota Lion as well as Natasha Lion. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for joining episode 4 of the podcast.
I know, right?
Yeah. Quick, how time flies.
It's crazy that we're already on episode 4.
It's
on
amazing.
episode 4. And I've got a topic for us.
Okay.
It's not the sort of the glamorous topic that, people are always boasting about, whether it be sort of weddings or births, stuff like that. Today's topic is about who are you going to call?
Ghostbusters.
I
don't think.
No, who are you going to call in that time of need when you are faced with a death or an injury in the family?
Okay.
I think people sort of always have the plans in place for everything else in their life, but not this part. Well prepared, having the numbers on their phone on what to do when they experience a death in the family. So I think it's a topic that people always avoid.
Completely.
It's always uncomfortable. It's that
Very.
thing going,
I'm not going to say.
they want to sort of hover on it, and sort of just avoid it. But it's a matter of life. It's sort of that circle of life where it's birth, life, and then death. And we shouldn't be shying away from it. Yes.
Yeah.
So what is your guys' thoughts on that whole, touchy subject?
Are you done fighting with the mic?
Sorry. We weren't connecting. We're connected now.
I think this is a topic that's really good to discuss. As you said, it's very not awkward, but it can be kind of sad, and everyone tries to tiptoe around it. But it is something that needs to be discussed. And I think you and Dad were very good at teaching me at a very young age what the plan was and what to do. But unfortunately, when I was 6 and younger, Dad passed away. But still, you were very good at being prepared and knowing what to do and teaching me what to do if, God forbid, anything ever had to happen to you. And I think it is important, especially with young people, to have those conversations and be like, listen, I know it's sad, but this is what would need to go down if something ever did happen. And I think you were very good at teaching me that, which I'm very grateful.
Thank you, Suda. And thanks. Yeah, I think there's conversations that we as a family, we steer away from. And I think at that point when Dakota was born, we'd already experienced some loss in our family. And because I'd gone down that road before, family-wise, I felt it was very important to discuss it, obviously, with Glenn. And we honestly just had good conversations about like, if anything happens, how do we want our kids raised and what he doesn't want me to do and how he's going to come and haunt me and I move on. Those kind of things. But also, something that we really spoke about that a lot of people don't realize is important. And I think it's so important with blended families because obviously when there's a death, in an existing marriage and the partner moves on onto another marriage, there's a blended family.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And the child from the original family tends to end up feeling a little bit lost of origin, lost of heritage. And it's human nature. You feel uncomfortable to talk about it. You want to make sure that your partner's comfortable, isn't uncomfortable. So these were the things that we really spoke about it. So we agreed about how we wanted Dakota raised, and that we would actually, if one of us passed away, we would make sure that they knew who the father or the mother is, their heritage, what their likes were, what their dislikes were, so they never forgot. Okay. Yeah. So and I did this from a very young age with Dakota, and we also discussed how we want things done with our will, which is very important. People forget, because if those things aren't put into place, there can be a lot of fighting. There can be a lot of heartache. There can a lot of disillusionment. And when somebody passes away, you want to know sort of where you stood with them, what they would have wanted, that what you're doing is is what they would have wanted.
Yes, because I think on that point, I mean, the most important thing is to have those discussions
Yes.
while the people are still alive. You know, because once the person is gone, you're just assuming that dad or mom wanted this to be done. You know, it hasn't been said, it hasn't been put down, and things also. I mean, we as a world, I would say, in the past few years, has experienced death in a large scale, i.e., COVID, etc., etc. So everybody had lost someone, whether it be close to them or distant,
And it's become more real.
and it's become
Real.
more real,
Yes.
real thing, and a real a topic that needs to be discussed. So the one thing that one always looks at is that why do we always avoid it? You know, I mean, I know it's sort of sad, and it sort of gets a person sort of
At your heartstrings.
your
really
heart,
pulls.
your heartstrings. But wouldn't you want to be prepared for anything? Because I mean, everybody prepares in life for their wedding, for their childbirth, for everything. They've got everything in place to the T, but not that sort of death side of things, you know?
Absolutely. I just wanted to say something there because I was very blessed in that my late husband and I had this incredible broker.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got to mention his name, Andrew Abramser from Step Trinity.
Yes, it's a shout out there to
So, you know, he always said to me, the problem is in South Africa, the majority of the families do not have properly written wills, okay? And they think that because they don't have assets, it's not important, okay? But they don't realize the severity of when that loss happens, what the family is left with. And the more specific you are in the will and tying it up with your policies that you have, so if anything happens, your house is provided for and paid off.
Yeah.
So it doesn't unsettle the family. You don't have to sell it and move. And then obviously for education or whatever may be. And I remember feeling very, very safe. And it just helps you to sort of deal with the situation, prepare for that funeral and everything else. And I remember my broker coming to me the second day after my husband passed away and went, Tash, just tell me what else you need. Everything's sorted out. The payment will be in your account by this afternoon.
Yeah.
So any expenses that need to be taken care of. And that takes a load off your mind because there's so much confusion and you don't know 100% which way to turn. And with a broker that is so invested in their clients and literally holds your hand through everything,
Yes.
it just takes away that the trauma. It's less trauma.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're living in a world with so much trauma at the moment. COVID for existence. Existence. Listen to me.
COVID for existence.
For existence.
Sounds like,
Sounds like
a slogan. COVID for existence.
There we go. Very good. So that I think definitely it lessens the trauma blow, which is important.
I mean, you are spot on there. Because I mean, when we look at sort of brokers, I mean, when you once again come to a wedding, I mean, you've got a wedding planner.
Yes.
That sort of you put all the trust in, and you know that he or she is going to do it from start to finish, and you'll be safe, comfortable, and know that it's sorted.
Yeah.
Now the same thing goes with this aspect of
Exactly.
your life. You're just going to put someone in place that knows, come that difficult time, that you've got someone in the background doing all the work, knowing that he or she is going to protect you in the time of need. Now, your earlier statement said, I mean, everyone should have policies in place. It doesn't matter how small. When you got one car, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that you need to be a multi-millionaire
Exactly.
to have all these things in place. Or I don't have 10 cars or 10 houses or 10 wives. For me to put
10 wives.
10 wives.
Your
you
insurance
definitely
policies are going to be
have
like,
to have a will when you have 10 wives. Have a will
I'd
in
say-
place if you've got 10 wives.
yo, I was going to have attorneys wrapped up in court the whole time. 10 wives. Yo,
10 wives
we're not
knocking on
going
your
to
door.
that
Yeah.
funeral.
Yeah, so a will needs to be in place if you've got 10 wives. And I mean, that's the one thing that no matter how small your estate is, you still have to have those policies in place, And I think as the as young people, I mean, that's the first thing that, I mean, I got also taught as a young man by my parents was there's two things that you get in place when you start working. Number one is medical aid.
Yes.
And number
We all
two
do.
is your life policy. Because you just don't know. You know, no one's life is guaranteed to, you have to be 80 years on this earth or 90 years.
Well, you don't know when your time's up.
Correct.
I mean, Glenn went to go play football. I mean, you know, one of the biggest Liverpool fans and was so healthy.
Yeah.
You know, we were like, bye, have fun, we'll see you later. So you just never know.
Yes, you just never know. And when it also comes to wills, people, okay, just for the record, I'm no financial advisor or broker. So this is just the layman's experience and expertise here. But I also feel that when it comes to your will, that you need to review it as often as you can, maybe annually, because one's life changes.
Yeah.
You know, your circumstances change, your family grows, or you divorced or whatever. You know, people are going to look back at your last will and testament, and if you put the beneficiary there,
Are they going to go,
that shouldn't be
who's
there.
this person?
I was like, no, but yeah, we divorced for 25 years,
Yeah.
and she needs to take what? Half of my thing.
That old girlfriend. Oh my goodness, where did she come from?
So Ryan, you're basically saying that people should, well, make sure to update their will often.
Yes, because I mean, you just don't know where your life's going and what changes,
Yes.
big or small, in your life.
So talking about that, the relationship with your broker is vitally important. So, Kota, I'm actually going to just hand that over to you.
No, I think another thing that was really important, well, I know for you,
Yeah.
and what I was lucky with at a very young age is that I did grow a good relationship with our broker. What can I
Yes.
say? Our broker, your broker, our broker.
Our broker.
And he was like, I remember him coming to, like, after Dad passed away, like 1 or 2 of my birthday parties, and just seeing him around. And I think that's very important, and something that needs to be established in families is, like you said, having a good relationship with your broker. But also now, again, God forbid, if anything had to happen to you, I'm also at the age now that because I've had this good relationship with our broker, that if anything did happen, I'm at the age now when I can express to the broker, like, this is actually what I want, and this is how I want it to happen, and I can understand. And because, again, you've taught me, I will know how to do it properly.
And you're not intimidated by the whole process.
Yes.
So, and it was ever evolving. So, because it's just Dakota and I, okay? So, when she was younger, if something happened, she would go to a guardian that I allocated, or stay with somebody and be influenced by other people that I felt was necessary in her life, but he would be there the whole time. But as she's gotten older and circumstances have changed, that has changed. And now, because I've brought her in, because I mean, she's 17, I can teach her nothing.
She's done. She's
Yeah.
done learning.
Yeah.
She knows everything.
Finish. No, I'm joking.
So the thing is, if something had to happen to me now, then she would also want to be involved in some of those life choices.
Yeah.
Which is what the broker understands, because he's been in our life. He knows our history. It's like a doctor knowing your medical history. So yeah.
Exactly. And one thing we also mustn't forget is that, you know, you have that dishonest people that
Yes.
take advantage of people
Completely.
Unfortunately.
when they're in a period of distress, or, you know, and they just take advantage. They run with it. They run with their money, empty promises, and everything that goes with that. So the more knowledge you know as a young person, or you're being taught over the years, the more you'll be equipped with that knowledge to spot a scamster from afar.
Completely.
You know? And one thing that we also need to do is, it's just financial management, you know? Because God forbid something happens to you. You know? I mean, if you don't have these things in place, while you're still alive, you can make a plan for your family. You can take on another job, 2-3 jobs, and put your children through college or whatever. So, but this is just planning for their future if you're not there. And that's the one thing that you have to have in place, because if something happens to you and there's no money to send your children to college, then there's no money to send your children to college.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
at least if you have a life policy in place, those things can get covered. The roof over your head of your children can be covered, and you know that you can have peace of mind. So if you can do it throughout your life, they're planning for them, you can do it after your life
Yeah.
as well, by just putting methods in place. And the sooner you start, because I mean, I still remember, it's minute, the cost of these policies, if you start them from a young age. I mean, your youngsters blow $500,000 in one day. You know,
What youngster's that?
It's not me.
She's trying. I don't know if I want to meet that family of yours. Expensive.
you know, it's. I mean, you can go out there and party and
Yeah.
blow money, but you've got to look at your future, like you would look at going to a good college, etc., etc. So it's just one thing that you need to sort of put on your to-do list as growing up, and it's never too late to start this.
No.
So whether you 16 or 61, it's never too late to start. You
But
know.
the thing is, I think people are intimidated by it. Okay, so there isn't enough awareness. This is something that needs to be taught in schools, I think.
Yeah.
And it'll become like, paying your municipal bill, paying your car payment. It's just it's just one of those things that you need to do on a regular basis.
Yeah, this is actually one of the funny things that I always like to advise people, and that's having people on speed dial. I know, you know what I'm saying.
We know, Ryan. We've got you on speed.
You know, the correct people on speed dial.
Yes.
You have your favorite takeaway shop or restaurant takeaways
of
on
course.
speed dial.
Chinese,
You know,
yeah.
you've got your best friend on speed dial. You've got all that people on speed dial. But what people very rarely have on speed dial or in their cell phones is emergency numbers. You know, an ambulance in case of an
I
emergency.
don't have that.
And the dun dun dun. I mean, who has an undertaker
Oh my goodness.
on their cell phone? You know, a funeral parlor. Because
This is true.
you're not going to phone the delivery guy, but can you perhaps collect the body? No. You gotta have
The
that
cleaner.
Yeah, yes, I was like, I've got a package. I want you to pick up and deliver. I said, you have to have. Unfortunately, you have to have that
Yes,
guy
that's-
or that girl
Jeez,
or that
Ryan,
lady
that's so true.
on your phone in case of emergency.
I thought I was
have
well
to.
prepared, but you know what? We'll have to put Undertaker on speed dial.
My goodness.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
know.
I'm just making
you
It's
know,
a very uncomfortable thing to talk about, but
Yeah.
again, it is something that needs to be spoken about.
Correct. And yeah, I mean, I know it sounds all morbid,
Yeah.
and like, oh my goodness, you know what I'm saying? Okay, it's fine for you to dial the funeral parlor, but when you see the funeral parlor phoning you, then it's a problem. It's like, sorry, pocket dialed you. You know?
But you see, this is uncomfortable. That people
Yeah.
don't talk about it.
Yeah.
But it's something you need to know because it does make the whole experience a little bit less traumatic. Because when you know, then
Yeah.
you know you in your mind you're going, okay, we got this.
Yeah, we
You
did
know.
speak about this.
Yeah,
so-
because I think I think since COVID and over the years, I personally lost family members
Yes.
along the way, and it's very, people get into a massive tiz. Some people freeze up, they can't do anything because they're so traumatized, and that's a time where you need to have that one person that will take charge
Yes.
of something, be the ringmaster, and bring everything together. Because, as they say, the show must go on. That person needs to be laid to rest,
Yeah.
and it's not going to wait. So you got to have things sorted out. Either put a file on a certain place with all that information,
Which
all
we
that
have,
contact
that's what we've
details,
got,
which you
yeah.
have, and all the viewers out there or listeners also just create that file. Who goes where? Who do you call? Not Ghostbusters.
I was going to say.
It's kind of
It's inevitable. It's like, who are you going to call? Damn it.
Not at the time.
And not the time. You know what I'm saying? It's not.
Okay,
Yeah.
so listen, I just want to lighten this up a bit, okay? Because for me, Dakota gets totally irritated with me because I
Yeah.
always talk to her about my send-off.
Can I
Oh,
please
yes.
tell you what she
Like
wants me to do?
50 doves.
She wants me to sing the Cup song by Anna
Yeah,
Kendrick at a funeral.
absolutely.
And Okay.
got a ticket for
Can I just tell you, in the
the
moment, now I must be crying, and now I must go sing the cup song.
when I'm
No,
gone.
no, you see, no.
When I'm
Stop singing.
gone.
Stop. No.
You're
I
gonna
know.
miss me
You
when
see,
I'm gone.
that's why it's so important to have these discussions while the person's still alive, because it might sound insane to you, but
No,
it's
for
your
yeah.
wish.
Do you know
it's
what?
your wish.
I love my life.
Yeah.
I love the life that I've had, and I want everybody to celebrate it with me. Yes, I know there won't be a dry eye. We both know. We all know this
yeah.
anyway. But I want to have people to have fun and laugh at my sense of humor, like
Yeah.
crazy stuff like. The women all need to dress up as Marilyn Monroe, and all the men need to come
Are
dress
you
up as
hearing
Elvis.
this? Because I'm not dressing up.
and then have a huge party afterwards.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, that's the way to go out. You know what I'm saying? It's like massive party. The other thing also that you got to be
Cash
wary
bar.
of, is if you don't have a policy in place, people are going to bury you in a cardboard box.
Wait, Ryan, why do you want? What's your send off?
My send off, I think, is similar to Tash. Is
You want me
that
to sing at your funeral too?
Okay.
the cup song's winning here.
Save the singing. Save the singing. I'd like the people to stay at my funeral, not run away. You know,
You're so funny.
is have a massive party. You know,
Absolutely.
massive party, DJ. You know, everybody having drinks, everybody dancing the night away. Because, I mean, that's how I live my life. I like laughter. I like joy. I like
Because that's who we are.
interacting with people, and that's who we are. You know. And I think when it comes to that time whereby, you know, if you don't sort yourself out, yes, you're going to sort of have those plans in place for your family, but technically you're actually sorting out your own life,
Yes.
you know, so that you can be buried in a very dignified way.
Yes.
And nobody else struggles, because the last thing you need is people to sort of, you know, stand by the traffic light and go, we need to bury Dakota, you know, give
I'm
some,
not getting
give
buried.
some,
I'm getting
give some.
cremated.
Yeah.
And
Okay, we need to burn. We need some bucks.
to
Actually,
burn.
quite funny because I'll never forget. Dakota was She was horrified because somebody said, "Oh no, we're going to braai your dad."
Oh my god.
Marinade.
It's getting too like morbid. That is like so dark.
Kids talking. So I mean,
Yeah, I was like, what?
that's how they conceptualize.
yeah.
We're going to have a fire.
Like, a guy pokes his head out. I would like a meat well done, ma'am.
That's not funny. Oh my god.
Yeah, but I mean, it's you gotta look at the you have to look at the humor in it, you know.
You have to.
It's,
Yeah.
Everybody in
Life's
life
short.
goes through it.
Yeah.
It's a circle of life.
Yes, it's the circle of life.
And listen,
Do you want to break out in song?
I was gonna sing "Can You Feel," but it's the wrong song.
yeah,
Yeah,
completely.
yeah. So I think we got to put the same amount of energy in everything that we do while we're still on this earth.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
we also gotta put the same energy
I also-
in that
Yeah.
part of it.
Do you
yeah?
know something that you need to like make sure? You need to
Okay.
be nice to the people that you know that you're in the world, because I've been told before, out dog Simba, that if I'm mean to mom, she's gonna leave all our stuff to our Yorkie.
I will. He really gives me plenty lovings.
Yeah, yeah.
And when she's not giving me lovings, then Simba gives me lovings.
So you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
Imagine in the world it says everything must go to the dog. The Yorkie.
Yeah.
This tiny thing.
I think when that wall gets red, he's going to wag his tail off.
What's Simba gonna do with the TV?
Don't know. But you know what? Seriously, guys, the
Yeah.
other thing is, you know, when there's proper planning, it just makes things easier. And also, I think also something to also think about is after the funeral, people, they forget. They go home and it's the family that's affected. They feel it more afterwards.
Yes.
And that's why the planning
yeah.
actually is so important.
Yeah. And you don't, very, very important. You don't want that financial burden to be
No.
on the people that you leave behind,
Yeah.
you know, and then they, for the next 5 years, struggle because they wanted to give you a decent send-off, but they struggling financially. So I think it's got to, you know, plan it well, plan your life, plan
Just
everything.
plan everything.
everything
Yeah.
to the T.
It's like planning a wedding.
Correct. You're just gonna phone the funeral parlor. How's it, man? You know, I need flowers, I need a hearse, and I need a coffin.
And a
You
good
can have
DJ.
And a DJ. You got a party. Yeah, it might be Frankenstein going wiki wiki wiki, but you never know. You never know. So yeah, so I think, guys, that's it.
Yeah.
I think we equipped our listeners with some food for thought, and yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for
Cyster.
joining.
Thank you,
Thank you
Cyster.
so much.
It's been amazing.
Yes, thank you so much for joining Duct Tape and Happy Thoughts. Catch you on the next one. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.